wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, sir. Morning, sir. Okay, let me introduce myself. My name is Azkiah Putri. I'm from D2 class and I'm a student of English Camp Mandaku campus. Standing here, I would like to present my research paper. The title is How to Turn Stress into a Motivation. Okay, first we talk about background of the research. Every school has a counseling teacher. For example is our school, Mantu Kuantan Singingi. And every counseling teacher must know what is called education psychology. Okay, next is knowledge of education psychology. Like the point before is every counseling teacher must know what is called education psychology. And education psychology is the most important things that every counseling teacher must have. Okay, next we talk about students' problem at school. Of course, every counseling teacher often faces students with various problems. For example, students are making so much noise at school that school residents are uncomfortable. There are discriminatories by students to another students. And there are like teenager problems, like smoking around the school or fights. And then many students get stressed during their learning process. Next. Based on the problem above, researcher is interested to find out what are solutions given by counseling teacher and psychology to turn stress into a motivation. The purpose of this research is to find and elaborate about the solution given by counseling teacher and psychology. Okay, we talk about discussion. First is definition of psychology. Psychology, it is one of the field of applied science and that studies human behavior, mental function and mental process through scientific procedure. Next is definition of education psychology. Education psychology is a branch of psychology that specializes in understanding, teaching and learning in the education world. According to Witterington 1982, the psychological understanding of education is systematic study or process and the factors associated with human education. According to behaviorism, this theory holds that learning is an operant conditioning, which is that one will give and will improve the quality of his study. The theory of behaviorism, which is initially one of the later schools of psychology, is developing and influential in the world of education and learning. Next is role of counseling teacher. Okay, of course, because researcher has this problem, the role of counseling teacher is needed to handle this problem, such as explaining how important learning for them and providing some sort of motivation. Okay, next is research finding. From counseling teacher that I got is like how to guiding them slowly and solution from counseling teacher. Okay, we talk about how to guiding them slowly. It means like how to be able to provide the child and like give some sort of a motivation. Okay, next is solution from counseling teacher. It's like how to reduce with stress. They are like do not delay time, learn to manage time well, study and rest in time. Okay, next is from psychology. There are cases of stress and solution or how to deal from psychology. Okay, we talk about cases of stress. Cases of stress from psychology that I got is like many subjects at school, a lot of school works or homework and a boring routine. A boring routine, it means like we are wake up in the morning and then go to school in the morning and be back to home in the afternoon. We do that in every day. Okay, next is solution or how to deal with stress from psychology. They are like changing our perspective, do not make a trivial matter, and do not overreact. Next. Okay. The conclusion is source gives guidance, cases and solution or how to deal with stress. Okay. Source gives guidance, it means like how to be able to provide a child. Cases of stress, it means like many subjects at school, a lot of schoolwork or homework and boring routine. And solution or how to deal with stress is like learn to manage time well, do not delay time, rest and study in time, changing our perspective and do not overreact. And the suggestion from author, everyone in the weakest point move to the everyone in the highest point. It means like from our view, we must motivate ourselves when we study because everyone has got to be at their weakest and they are stressed, but they are prefer to motivate themselves so they rise again and get to the highest point. And if you guys at that point, then motivate yourself. Motivating ourselves is something that some people think it's very hard and some people think it's very difficult. For some people think it's very difficult, very hard. From now, please stop thinking like that because it's not the end of your life journey. You have a long way to go to the highest point. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Azkiah. Yes, interesting topic about how to turn stress into motivation. Okay, who is your participant in this research? Who is the one that you interview?
A counseling teacher from Kuansing ini and psychology.
A psychologist.
Yes.
Okay, so two people.
Yes,
Two people. And do you see any different from these two people in terms of how they change stress into motivation?
Yes.
What are the differences?
Like counseling teacher often gives solution like about learn to manage time well like that. But if psychology is like do not overreact or like do not overreact or changing our perspective like that.
Okay. All right. So one of my suggestions, I think, because you have two different participants for your research, in this case is a psychology teacher and a psychologist, it would be better for you to have title like maybe differences between psychology teacher and psychologists in dealing with stress. Maybe that one of the possibilities. Or you can also keep the same title, how to turn stress into a motivation, and then column, you know column? Column. Double dot or titik dua. So you can use things like this. How to turn stress into a motivation, and then column, a study of psychologist and psychology teacher. Okay, so we, from the title, we understand that you are actually studying two different people in this case. Okay, and yeah, that's good. You mentioned some theory of behaviorism here. This is one of the major theory in talking about psychology. Okay, so you have Skinner, you have Poole, Edwin Catry. But it would be better if you put the year of publication from these people. Yeah, just like what you have done for Witherington. Yeah, so you have done correct with Witherington when you mentioned his name and then the year of publication. And you should also do the same for Thorndike. I'm not sure how to pronounce this name. Skinner, for example. That's the way we cite somebody's work in our research paper. That's my suggestion. Okay. Are you interested in psychology, by the way? Do you want to be a psychologist?
Yes. When we have like every week we have like speaking exam, right, in the Friday, and it's like our home teacher is like monologue or what, so always like your dream in the future, and I want to be psychology.
Okay.
But I still confused. I want to be psychology or a doctor.
Psychologist.
Psychologist.
Yeah, you are still confused.
Yes.
Okay. Why are you interested in being a psychologist, by the way?
Because I want to learn, like, know every people characteristic, and I like to sharing story too, and to listening their story too, like that.
Okay.
Yes.
So you like helping other people?
Yes.
Because these two professions, I think they share similar responsibilities. Psychologists dealing with people's problem, and also doctor is also dealing with people's problem. But one of them is about health, another one is about psychological problem.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, I think either being a psychologist or being a doctor is a great option for your career. Okay, hope you find the best answer later, someday in the future. Okay, well done, Azkiah. Next, Pak Supri.
Okay, I'm going to look at another side here. The first one, if you want to define, you have to look at the keywords of the title. Okay, if your title is how to turn stress into motivation, the keyword is stress. You have to define the meaning of stress, and then also motivation. Okay, what do you mean by motivation and so on? And you can also have another title like alternative solution to overcome stress into motivation by counseling teachers and psychologists. So how do counseling teachers overcome stress into motivation? Okay, the second one is how do psychologists overcome stress into motivation? Now, you can see from different profession, yes, counseling teacher and psychologist. Okay, and this is very interesting and very useful. If someone feels stressed and then read your article or your research, this is very useful for others. Yeah? And then, okay, you need to read a lot of references dealing with this. Yeah, I think that's very good, and I think that's all. You need to be revised later. Whether you want to revise your, this is too broad, motivation by who, you can edit. You can add this by how to turn stress into motivation by, you can say by counseling teachers, by psychologists and so on. I think that's all. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, that's all for me. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.